thank God it wasn't costly, but it was embarrassing. I mean,
we was in front of a client.
We just got this contract.
Yeah.
Our first contract. The lady who gave us the contract is out there looking like, y'all got another man, right? I told y'all I was dependent on y'all.
Welcome back to Zenpath Radio. I am Ryan. I am your host of today's show. And we have not one, but we have two NEMT guests here with you. We have J and K Transportation, Jasmine and Kimberly. They are amazing founders. They are from Chesapeake, Virginia, and they were founded in 2022. We're going to be talking about a lot of different topics in today's interview. We're going to be talking about how they got started, how they met each other, and how they complement each other. We're going to be diving into the difference between brokers and private pay and private pay meetings, getting private pay meetings, and what to expect. So relax and enjoy the interview. And if you are like most NEMT providers, you're definitely going to want to take notes and learn how to be better organized and prepared for these meetings. So before we dive into the interview, I have to tell you about our dispatch software. Zenpath is NEMT dispatch software for sure to help you stay organized and connected with your fleet. You are able to customize your workflow and manage your teams all in one place. So if you are interested in trying Zenpath, we're going to leave a link in the description below. And yeah, feel free to check it out. So without further ado, Jasmine and Kimberly, how are you today?
Hi. We're doing good. How are you?
I'm really good. Yeah. So like I told you before, I found you guys on YouTube, and I always used to see you guys, videos pop up, and also your Instagram, and you're all over Facebook, right? And one thing that really stood out for me was that, I think I told you this before, that what really stood out for me was you always have a face to your brand, right? When you see J and K, you see visually who Jasmine is and who Kimberly is. So take us back a little bit. How did you two meet?
You want to go? So we actually met at a teen center last year. Mm-hmm. Last year. She was working there and I was interning, doing my internship at Teens with a Purpose. And that's how we met. She was actually showing me the ropes around that center. And we just connected that way. Yeah.
And it was just like a bond ever since then.
Yeah.
Did you guys know that you guys were both had similar kind of similar goals in life, or was it just what brought that bond together?
So it was February of last year. She was checking up on me because I was absent. Mm-hmm. And when I saw her again, I was letting her know I wasn't doing too well. It was my mom's death anniversary. Mm-hmm. And that's when she started telling me about her story. And as she was telling me, what'd I say? If you need my help with anything, I'm here for you. Just let me know when. And when she said that to me, I'm looking like, who is you? Because the only person that would help me with dreams and stuff like that, or anything that I want to accomplish, was my father. And we bonded over him passing away. So I was like, okay, let me see what you're talking about, because you don't know me. So why you want to support me? I mean, I know I'm showing you the ropes around here and stuff like that, but hey, that's what I do. But that's really how we end up getting started. After she told me that she would support me, I went and prayed about it. I took a month in meditation, praying to God about it, because I was really weary on entrusting people with a dream that God had gave me way before I had even met her or before my father had passed. So I prayed about it. I went back to her and I asked her, why did she want to support me without knowing me? And she didn't really give me a solid answer. She was just like, things didn't go well in the past. And I went and prayed about it because I'm nosy. And God had told me to ask her again and tell her that whatever she told you, she cannot do it unless she signs up to be your partner. Yes. So when I said that to her, she told me her story of why she didn't really want to be the 50-50 and how she just wanted to support me. So I told her what God expressed to me in prayer, and she prayed about it, meditated on it, and she came back and was like, yeah. I think God told me to tell you that we are partners. And I was like, I think that God told me the same thing. So I was already in the process of stepping down from my position at my job. I was the program coordinator for Teens with a Purpose. It's a great youth development program for teenagers running from 12 to 18 years old. They do arts, enrichment, poetry. They do things with the school, helping teens stay aligned and doing what they need to do in classes and stuff like that. And I ended up having to step down. So as I was stepping down, June 4th, 2022 is the day I stepped down, and we started the process of NEMT.
Oh, nice. So it was it like just like a very like linear thing from meeting to like starting a company and all these things in between, right? But it seems like the friendship just kind of like took off right from the beginning.
It was happening like while we was at work, because we would always check on each other, do wellness checks, because we gave so much of ourselves to the children and the teens that we work with. So we always was talking about like service. We both have human service degrees, and I have a minor in psychology, and how we can add to teenagers and teens' lives for them to walk more in their purpose and know more of themselves. And as we was talking about the children, we started talking about ourselves and talking about our dreams. And I had told her about the dream that God had gave me for the medical transportation. Long story, I'm gonna summarize it. My father, I was his caretaker for like 5 years, and he had dementia. So as his dementia started to affect more of his body, I had to step in more. My father, before he left this earth, he did not want his pretty 3 princesses working. He wanted us to be heirs, sitting off late on the beach, enjoying all of his hard work. But I told him, I don't think that was God's plan for me. So he kept spending money, and the people that he was trying to invest with, they kept running off on the money. So I prayed to God to give me an idea to help my dad stop spending the money, and it's going to be a plan for when he leaves. Long story short, I prayed. God gave me the plan to tell my dad I was going to turn his house into a veteran home or a group home or an elderly home, and I was going to turn his van into a medical transport. And he said yes, and stop spending the money. And then fast forward, he passed, and I meet him.
Wow. So it's like destiny, right? It's almost like destiny kind of aligned you perfectly for this opportunity.
Divine connection. It's a divine connection.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. So you already had it planted in you, but Kimberly, like what like made you get into NEMT, right? Because it seems like everything was in line for Jasmine, but like how did that fit into your goals?
So I've always been in the helping field. I love helping others. That's always been a passion of mine.
Sweetheart.
When my mom passed, my story is similar to Jasmine, but not in depth. So when my mom found out that she had cancer, that's when I went in and started helping her with her process. She found out in November. So from November and February, I was always there for her, making sure she had her doctor's appointments, taking care of her, that process. So after that, I was going to help my father with the group home. My father wanted to do a group home. Well, that didn't go too well. So I was just like, I want to do something. I told my grandmother in March of last year, I was like, Grandma, I want to do something. I want to go in business helping somebody. I want to help people. And my grandma was like, just pray on that. I was like, but you can't trust people nowadays. Mm-hmm. You can't trust people. And she told me her story. I was like, but things are not the way it used to be. My grandma's almost 90 years old. I was like, things are not the way it used to be. And that was in March. Mm-hmm. Even though me and her talked about it in February, that was a process. So come June, that's when we decided to do the go. And we did it.
And so Jasmine just approached you and said, hey, I'm thinking about starting an NEMT company. Do you want in it? And then you were like, yeah, of course. Is that how that worked?
No, she was telling me her story.
I was telling her my story
and what she wanted to do. And when she told me what she wanted to do, I said, I'll back you up. Mm-hmm.
I see. So where did the NEMT specifically come into play, right? Like when was it like, hey, let's start a transportation company? Because I know you said you had the house situation, right? But when did the transportation come into play?
This was already in the plans for when my father passed. It's just that I forgot about it.
Wow.
So when he passed away, October of 2021, after I got through his burial, a little part of his estate, God brought it back, the van. And I was like, oh, I got to start a medical transport. I told
It's crazy. That's amazing.
So that's how it medical transport, because I had finally woken up to the idea that God gave me 5 years ago when I had first stepped in and taken care of my father. I forgot all about it, like literally.
Was when you had that initial thought, like that light bulb moment, was there a lot of preparation that took part, before you actually, took your first trip?
Yes.
Or did you just hop right into it? It's like, hey, you
No.
know what? We're gonna just
No. The first
Okay.
thing that I was praying for a mentor, like when we had met and I had told her my story, I was already in the process of looking for mentors, trying to connect with people to help me get started. But everybody that was trying to have meetings with or connecting with, they didn't want to talk to the girl or whatever. So I prayed. I was like, God, what is going on? I took a break on it, got a little bit past my father's estate, and then I had a dream. No, I was asleep. Woke up 3:00 in the morning. My spirit led me to YouTube. I see Mr. Eric on YouTube on the Truck and Hustle channel doing the interview. God said, that's your mentor. Immediately I text Kim. Found our mentor. God gave us a mentor. Immediately we hit him up the next day. Oh my God, Mr. Eric is so heaven sent.
Yes, he is.
And he helps you get started, right?
Yes. And oh my God, he has a great course online, emergency medical transportation forms, everything you need, he has it. So we prayed about it, and God was like, that's him. And we met up with him, and that's when it started.
Yeah.
Awesome. So when people think of the transportation industries, I mean, me included, I think it must be so expensive to get started, right? So I mean, you need a vehicle, you need insurance, you need all these other things, right? To have this one entity work, right?
Yeah.
How much money did you need to start?
For us,
roughly. You don't have to give me exact numbers, but roughly, yeah.
$20,000.
20,000, and that's vehicle maintenance,
that's
whatever.
Vehicle,
maybe
everything,
insurance,
marketing, insurance, our uniforms, everything. 20,000. Yeah.
And what's the most expensive that people, well, not the most expensive, but like, what do you think that people overlook before they have a lot of NEMT providers before they get into the industry? They think, oh, I want to start up, but I feel like there must be a lot of expenses that's overlooked. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? That they're not really taking into consideration before they actually start. Of course, there's vehicle maintenance, maybe, like I think I said insurance, but maybe it's wear and tear that they're not taking into consideration. Maybe it's some hidden fees. Like, can you think of any hidden fees that people are,
For us, it was maintenance on our van, being that we have an electric wheelchair and we have the clamps that lock up the wheelchair. Those require maintenance and stuff like that. So getting those regularly scheduled maintenance, making sure everything's intact. With these new cars, everything is programmed and updated. So you want to make sure all your systems is updated. So the ramp and the radio is not colliding through the electrical system. That's something that we experienced early, thank God. So we can know what to do as we build our fleet. But that's something that was very unexpected for us. I thought unexpected. We researched, we prepared ourselves. I already have a previous business. I sell intimate care for women and men. So I already kind of knew the process. It just was learning the transportation part. But it really wasn't, when you do your research diligently, it's there.
That's what it's
the research is vital. You cannot get into, I don't believe in getting anything without research, but this industry, transportation, medical transportation, you must do your research because every state is different. Every state, DMV, who requires license is different. One state might not require you to have a license. Virginia here, we must have an operating authority license, but we also can have a higher place where we can do private pay. So it just varies. You must know your region, and then outside the state, you want to know your city. The city, your competition, the people that you're working around, the doctor's offices, the medical part. You want to know those things in your research. You can find all that on Google, or you can just call the local facilities around the area. They'll give you the information freely because every facility have an information desk.
So you just easily just search all this information on Google. It's all accessible. That's what you're saying.
Everywhere,
right?
Everything's on Google. YouTube was our best friend. I didn't have no driving experience at NEMT professionally, but I drove my father around for 5 years in this van. So that was the training that I had. But learning the laws and stuff like that when driving in EMC, I had to look up YouTube videos, other people who was in the field. MJ Transport, shout out to them too, because God sent us them after Mr. Eric, and he took us further, as far as the information field, things that we didn't cover with Mr. Eric, like Love you, girls.
Awesome. And also, right, you mentioned just picking up the phone and, like even if you see a video of someone, you pick up the phone and reach out to them for mentorship or just ask for help. You never know what they may say.
Yes, and Facebook has this, if we was researching, we tried to find groups or whatever. So we wouldn't be like, everything was Google. We want to actually get some word of advice from people that actually was already in the field. So there's this big non-emergency medical transportation group on Facebook that has like 8.9 thousand people in there, but they all share information, their trials and tribulations, and that group prepared us for what we are experiencing now and gave us advice on insurance, agents, brokers, private pay. You can ask all types of questions. You can connect with other people. Y'all can share experience. Great group.
Awesome. And Virginia, is that a broker state?
Yes.
So let me ask you a question. So a lot of brokers, they have minimum requirements for vans. Lots of NEMT providers just getting started. Maybe they don't have enough capital for maybe a minimum of 3 vans. And so what would you suggest providers to do if they only have 1 van? The broker has a minimum of 3 vans, but they need to make money. They need to get things going. Do you have any suggestions for them?
Keep doing your research. First, pray, because having God in the center of your business, something that is purposeful and it's going to be of service to not only the city or the state, but humanity eventually. Pray first and do your research. You don't want to just take one answer from everybody. Example, insurance. We called everybody in the 757. Like they knew us because they thought we was already like, no, we trying to get insurance. We just want to make sure we get in the right numbers. And we called over 20 insurance brokers, We just had to put in that work. We didn't take no for an answer. We knew that Mr. Eric gave us great advice. You will hear some yeses, some no's, but always fight for that yes. So we already had it in our system, no matter what we was doing, what we was trying to get. So just if you get a no, there's another broker that will accept you with 1 van and what you can provide.
Or just and try to do private pay as well.
Private pay as well.
So you would recommend you can also try to focus on getting at least like 1 client and then kind of like bootstrapping that until you can get that third vehicle or that minimum requirement.
Absolutely. Because we decided to do strictly start off independent, be our own broker, go build personal relationships and connections with the facilities and the hospitals and all those of the medical field who had patients that we wanted to serve.
What do you think of like starting like other gigs, gig economy like work, right? So maybe it's, I don't know, like filling in the gaps of like, I guess like a Uber or something like that. Like, is that effective, or what do you think? I mean, like if you can't get broker work and maybe you can't get private pay work because maybe it takes a little bit of effort, right? The first day or whatever they have the thought of getting started. Would you recommend them, utilize that vehicle, get that vehicle on the road any means necessary? Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
I recommend them to continue to reach out to all the people that facilities, libraries, churches, school. There's people who need transport for their children back to school. We do. That's why our first client.
What school? You said school transportation?
Someone back and forth to school. So just be open to service, because just because non-emergency means non-emergency, so you can service. They don't have to always be taking somebody to a doctor appointment. So our first baby was us transporting a young lady back and forth to school weekly. And it was going great until we built up and started building those connections with those facilities and the hospitals and stuff like that. So there's ways where you can get your foot off the ground and get your brand known and let other providers know that you're out here to service the community as a transportation provider. So that will be a yes.
Okay. Awesome. So just like getting your name out, that's the most important thing. Like even if you can't move your vehicle, maybe you don't have any trips, get your name out while you're waiting. That's what you're saying.
Market.
Is marketing the name of the game?
Yes. Marketing.
got it into marketing, right?
This is where the world is going. If you ain't on marketing, you might need to catch up.
Fair.
If you have a social media page, you already marketing. So
Yeah.
just changing it to what you're doing with your brand or whatever you're doing with your dreams and stuff like that.
Okay. And are you guys broker or are you guys private pay? What percentage of your business is broker versus private pay?
Right now, we're not working with zero brokers.
We're
all private pay.
Okay. So I was gonna say, like, do you know anything about brokers and the percentage that they normally take? I heard that it's generally pretty high, and I see a lot of people.
Like a 70-30, 80-30.
Is 70-30?
I think it was 70-30 that I heard. That's what I heard in the streets of NEMT.
They're taking a lot.
Sure. Don't quote me. Don't quote me.
No quote. But I did hear it was a lot. I heard it was a lot of money, and I see a lot of people on the groups, like the Facebook group that you mentioned. I see a lot of people always complaining. They're saying, "Wow, like the brokers are taking a lot of percentage, and how can we keep the doors open if they're taking so much percentage? You know, with these hidden fees, these unexpected expenses." You mentioned the lift. I didn't even think about that. The mechanical lift is going up and down every day, like 100 times per day. That's gonna wear quickly. Probably wear almost as quick as the tires, right?
Right.
So
that's maintenance.
Seriously.
And so with that 70-30, that's insane. That's insane. But I guess they provide volume. I'm guessing that's the trade-off. I'm guessing. I don't know.
I'm guessing the trade-off is they do the building the relationship and partnership for you. That's the part that you paying them for. To do your work, the talk and the build. Yeah.
So they're doing the marketing. The marketing
part. Yeah, basically.
The broker does all the marketing
I think you
for
just show up. I think the broker, you just show up. They tell you who, where. You don't really talk to nobody. Just say, "Hey, I'm here to get." But
I wonder is most NEMT providers, are they doing the broker route? Because one thing I said that I noticed about you guys is you guys are very good on marketing. When I go to your website, I see your face. When I go to your social media page, I see your face. Yeah. Most NEMT providers, they don't have any like trace record or trace of any kind of personal branding on their website or the social media page. So like, where's the who is the founder? Who's the drivers? I don't see any. I see only stock images and low quality stock images. They're recycled. You go to different pages and it look like they're using the same images. It's like, wait a minute, something is wrong here. So it almost makes you think, when you see a page, when you see a face to the brand, it makes you think maybe those are the private pay. Those are the ones that's doing private pay, and that's why it's effective, right? Is that what you think?
Honestly, I'm not really sure. That's a good perspective, though.
It's definitely something I've noticed. It's definitely something I've noticed for sure.
Even if I was working with a broker, I still want my name. I want my face and I want my name attached to it, because eventually I'm not going to be working with a broker forever, even if I choose to work with them until I get my foot in the door of me working independently. So,
I would still show face as well.
I want to show face.
Yeah.
I wanted to be personal because with me being a caretaker, I wanted to see who had my daddy.
Yeah. It's a trust first industry for sure.
Yeah, so
for sure.
Yeah,
I agree 100%.
You want the customers to be, what is it? You want them to be comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Not only that, we named our business J&K Divine Connections. Like, we named it for a reason. It has purpose behind J&K Divine Connections. So everybody that we service is a divine connection sent from God. So it's like everything we doing is people building, personal connections and relationships, and
not just servicing.
Yeah.
Family. So whoever's watching this, you guys have to start showing your face. Get your face out there.
You got it.
Start leveraging that personal brand. Getting out there. What is the lifespan of a private pay customer or contract? I can imagine maybe they have like a doctor's appointment that need like 100 trips, not 100, but like maybe like 5 trips to and from chemo or whatever it may be, or dialysis. Or maybe it's, I don't know, like the unfortunate happens, right? Maybe there's a passing. But on average, I'm guessing the private pay contract doesn't last forever. So what's the average lifespan of a
It depends. It can last from 3 months, 6 months, a week, 2 weeks. It's all on the party. We provide a service agreement. So far, nobody has not taken our service agreement. They have accepted our service agreement and just added it to whatever they was gonna give us to bind the agreement.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
And most of our agreements are with facilities itself.
Facilities
so
itself.
we
Yeah.
don't just deal with one client, customer for that client for that facility. We do deal with multiple ones.
So like nursing homes and like you said,
nursing homes,
Mhm.
assisted living centers,
Mhm.
hospice,
Mhm.
adult daycares. We don't miss any population.
You said even some outside of medical. You said, right? Like children, things.
We do school, taking them back and forth to school, and we also looking in with partnering with the school system because they actually need drivers because of the lack of bus drivers, and they have a program called LPR. So we're looking and researching to that so to see if it's beneficial for not only our business but our service is beneficial to what they need. So yeah, we are expanding. We don't want to just stick with the medical part, but we want to fulfill the non-medical as well. So yeah.
One thing that I can tell by talking to you guys is like the research never stops. You mentioned at the beginning you have to do a lot of research, but it sounds like you have to constantly do the research. You have to research your industry and know the current events that's happening, where the money is moving.
It's always something new in the group that we're in. It's always something new. We be like, if we miss 2 days, it's like, oh my God.
No, so I'm in the tech industry, right? And in the tech industry, they always say a co-founder is the perfect scenario. They say because you guys can complement each other, right? Yeah. It's maybe one is a technical co-founder, the other is business, right? Maybe one is like the marketing and the other one is, the other thing. So I can tell you guys have this peanut butter and jelly effect. So how does that work with you guys? Like, did that work out perfectly for you guys?
Yeah,
absolutely, it does.
Definitely. Yeah. It's so crazy because we balance each other out. As you can see, I told you before the interview, I'm really introverted, but somehow my personality is extroverted when it comes to people.
Yeah, it is.
But
not me.
It's like what I lack, she has, and what she lack, I have. So it's like we help each other grow through this experience, not only just servicing people. Yeah. I'm helping her shine her light, get out of her comfort zone with being shy and stuff like that. And she helps me be reserved.
Kimberly shy? No way. Impossible.
Oh yeah, very shy.
She helps me with the gentleness because I'm a little dramatic in everything I do. So she helps me be more gentle and calm it down.
Awesome. So when you guys do research, together or is it like one person does the research, the other applies it, or how does that kind of dynamic work?
Both, actually.
We're always like, she could be looking up, we always like have weekly meetings of what we potentially want to see in the business, what we think would be good for the business, and what we think future wise. So we're always, she could be on something for like van purchasing, I could be working on marketing. One day she could be looking up research in the group. I'm looking up grants. So it's like
it's like information is always coming in.
It's always coming in. We don't like say you do this. We know what we talk about what needs to be done, and we'll say, well, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that based off our strong suits and stuff like that.
I feel like a business in general, not just an NEMT, I feel like it's just very difficult to do it alone. And like everything what you're saying, if the information is coming in, it's like you have 4 hands, right? And it's just constantly coming in. Sounds like the perfect scenario. It's like playing, I feel like doing it on like by yourself is like doing it on a hard mode, but it seems like it's so much more efficient when you have a partner.
I couldn't imagine. I'm so grateful that she came and said she because I wanted to do it by myself. I was only gonna be partners with my sisters, and when that didn't work out, I had like, okay, strictly me, God, strictly. But sharing this load that's gonna come with what we're doing, JK Divine Connections, I wouldn't want to have all this abundance for myself. I wouldn't want to keep it to myself. And I'm a part of. I realized when we was doing this, we are a part of something bigger than ourselves. And I needed somebody to share this work with, share this wealth with, share the trials and tribulations with, and share service with, to be able to grow through the whole experience. So she was the perfect partner that God chose for us to do this experience with.
Awesome. So if you are an NEMT provider, and which one of you guys reach out to the facilities? Do you guys both reach out to facilities, or which one? All right. It's you, Jasmine, right? Okay. So how often are you calling facilities let's say like per week or maybe per month?
Okay. So we just talked about this today, how we got to get back into our role because business is like booming for us. So we have a structured schedule where we market 3 days a week. Even if it's not 3 days a week, if it's a slow day, we're marketing. If it's a cancel day, we're marketing, we're cold calling, we're spreading our knowledge. We're spreading our information and stuff because it's so many facilities, so many people to serve in the 757. And then we stay at Virginia as well. We want it to be state, provide our services for the state, which we do. So it's a lot of people we have to reach for our goal and our vision to like really align. So marketing is something that we already told ourselves, we got to just suck it up and do it. Do it. Yeah.
So when I was watching your interview, you were closing in on a contract, and you had a meeting with a facility.
Yes.
So it sounds like you have to constantly close the deal on these cold calls and schedule meetings, right?
Yeah, because all the facilities is so crazy. They a little different. But you know, some of them, our first one, we didn't even meet her. What she said? Can I build a contract with y'all right now?
Oh yeah, she did.
Yeah,
just like that. Just like
she was like, she loved my cold call. She was like, wait,
right.
Nobody even asked to come up here. First of all, people just come. You calling me to ask? You stopping by there to ask? Okay, you got me wanting to know what you about. And
was it something specific that you said, or was it just your personality shined through the conversation?
I think it was my personality that shined through the conversation, and her just getting that courtesy call. Because she was like, you called me to just drop off your information. Most people, I guess, don't do that for that facility to show up. Hey, here's my information. But
and then what you said over the phone.
What I said over the phone. So it was like,
that's interesting.
He gave us that in 5 minutes. Yeah.
Wow. It's interesting because I think a lot of people have that preconceived notion that cold calling, they're annoying someone or they're stopping them through a busy schedule. But it sounds like there's, over that hurdle, that hurdle of thinking that you're bothering someone, there's
I still think I'm bothering somebody every day. Like I have to tell him, oh my God, I got bubble guts. Like I'm a nervous person when I gotta do stuff. I can do it and you probably won't notice it, but every time I'm going to these facilities, every time I'm on the phone cold calling, I be nervous because I talk fast and I have a list. And I'm nervous. Oh, you gonna So I'm always pushing myself. Like I just tell myself, you got this, girl.
Just take a breather and then just go for it, right?
I think we all experience that because you actually have to say, hi, I'm this and I have this and I was wondering this. And so like for us, when I call, I just say, good morning, can I connect with the correct department? Usually it's medical records or the social worker. And once that person get on the phone, I'm like, hello, how you doing today? Usually they don't get asked how they doing clearly, but they're like, how can I help you? And soon they give me that with excitement. My name is Jasmine Valentine. I am the co-owner of J&K Divine Connections Medical Transportation, and we just expanded to your area. And I was wondering if you guys were in need of any affordable, dependable, reliable transportation services, because we want to partner with you guys, and we are here for you and your patients to service the community. And they're like, so I think it'd be my personality, and I actually try to conversate with them versus trying to recruit them. I try to like build a relationship with them, and see if they'll give me an opportunity. And every time, thank God, it's been working. I haven't had nothing.
How do you go from that to closing it, like scheduling a meeting? Because is that the goal? When you pick up the phone, is the goal always schedule a meeting? Or
for me, well, that's what we was taught from my mentor. But Actually doing it for me, my goal is for you to say yes to meet me.
Yeah.
You can come bring me your stuff. Because once you see me in person, I got you. I know that. It always happens, so I'm just believing in myself. Once I get them face to face and they see me, it's can we need to talk?
The goal is to meet.
The goal is to meet. Yeah. So walk us through what to expect when you schedule the meeting and then they say, come in. Walk us through that process. Like what does that meeting look like generally?
Well, you have the business card. We have a business card, our brochure, and our pens. So we take all 3 to the meeting.
As well as the van. I always park in the front so they can see, because they always they want to see your vehicle. Stay in the van, walk in, they all, being that you already cold call, they already prepared for you to come. So they already have that time waiting for you. Once I get in that office, I re-go over what I didn't get to expressing them in that quick initial meeting. 2 minutes. Yeah. And just like Deborah, usually they go into questions and they want to have a contract. They be like, you guys have a contract? Do y'all have something to give us? We're like, yeah, we have a service agreement. They're like, where is that? Oh, it's right here. There you go.
So, okay. So you have to have so you should have a business card, service agreement. What else did you say?
We also have a brochure.
A brochure.
And a nice gift to give them. Something like a pen, a water bottle, or something.
With your name, I'm guessing with your logo on it, right?
Of course.
Okay. So just give them a regular pen. Give them a pen with a logo.
Yeah. Okay. We chose pens because everybody in the medical field, they always use the pens, and boom, you look at that pen, JK, you ain't gonna forget us. So pens was our go-to.
And then parking in the front where they can see the vehicles. I'm guessing how clean it is, how nice and kept it is. Clean, yes. Yeah. It's so clean,
okay.
Okay. Perfect. So do you do any kind of research of the facility before you do before you have the meeting? So maybe it's how long they've been in business, what are their key, I don't know.
Yeah. We look at reviews, we look at their mission statement, we look at their vision, because we want to make sure it's aligned. We don't want to work with anybody that is not in alignment with the vision and mission that we have, because we want it to fulfill. So that's first. And just make sure that what they come with, we have to service them. So we have to do that part. Because some people, like through our research, we learned that like some assisted living facilities here are independently people that just stay on their own, and nurses come to them. So in order to market to them, you either have to have that relationship with their family member versus they have a whole staff with on-call nurses and stuff like that. That's something that changed the game for us, because we automatically thought that we had to go through the facility all the time. So just knowing assisted living is different from nursing, and some nursing have rehab. So that's vital. Yeah.
Awesome. So just being prepared and just being like present, and then it sounds like everything will be like smoothly if you have those things in order, right? I think that's a lot of great information. I mean, like you guys like definitely laid it out of like everything you need to go into this interview, especially because I feel like a lot of people are just like, okay, I got the meeting. Like, what do I do now? Yeah. Because I feel like no one really talks about that. Like, I feel like everybody in theory, they want private pay, right? But I feel like no one really went into detail as much as you did of like, what to expect and, what to go in and expect. So, so when it comes to marketing, right? Like, what's the best channels, right? What's the best channels when it comes to marketing? I guess in your case, private pay. Is it like Instagram channels, meaning like Instagram, Facebook? Maybe it's like passing out flyers. Cold calling is marketing, right? So maybe that's the most effective.
For me, ever since we've been on social media, things have turned up a notch.
Yeah, but
interesting.
But we were already like turned up before social media, so.
I would say between cold calling and social media.
Both.
Is it social media? Is it a specific channel? Is it a specific social media, or is it like Facebook? Because I feel like the older generation would be more mainly on Facebook, and then like the younger generation be on maybe TikTok, and then you have like.
I don't know about Instagram is doing good too.
It is.
Both. We're gonna say both.
Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah.
Facebook and Instagram. Okay. So when it comes to Facebook and Instagram, like how do you think people just go to the Facebook page and they just type in NEMT implementation in Chesapeake, Virginia? Like, how do they how do you think? Because I think if you think in the way of the customer, right, you can understand like how they can discover you, right? So how do you think they're kind of discovering you guys? Are they going to Facebook and they're typing? Because you can't do that on Instagram, I don't think. You can't type in NEMT for Virginia, can you?
Well, on Facebook, our biggest, the ones that have really been supporting us is our family and friends, and they've been sharing everything and then having questions after that.
And then we shared it in groups.
Yeah.
And then also, we forgot the marketing thing that we do where we find the facilities to see if they have an actual page on Facebook and post our stuff up there and we message them.
Nice.
I forgot to tell you guys, we do that. Yeah. So, but for real, I really think it's the personal building. I think even without social media, if social media wasn't a thing, the personal building, the relationship and the connection
is the best.
It's the best.
I would have thought
I would choose that. I would choose that over anything.
Yeah.
Do you know the app Nextdoor? Nextdoor, are you familiar with Nextdoor, the application?
Oh,
no. You're like, I was like, Nextdoor, you're looking around like,
no.
Nextdoor. What? Nah.
Did you say you was next door?
No. So there's an application called Nextdoor. And it's specifically, I think it's almost like a Craigslist kind of thing for the neighboring community. It's pretty popular too. You should download it. I'm not affiliated. I don't have any kind of affiliation with this company. But they're a big company, and it's like I said, a Craigslist for the neighborhood. I can imagine that being very effective and building some kind of like I guess kind of like authority in that kind of space, because it's curated towards people primarily in your area. You know what I mean? So I always, was looking at like if providers were kind of thinking of like targeting very niche channels. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Mm-hmm. Maybe finding a way to market on Craigslist. I don't know if that's a thing, but maybe like...
I believe it is a thing, because on Craigslist, you can search up anything up there.
And in the area. So that's the thing, right? Yeah. Like I feel like Facebook, Instagram is very broad.
That's a good idea. To, like, thank you for that idea. We're going to do that. Yeah. I know on Craigslist, you can pick your city and you can put your caption. Yeah, it can be for sale.
I think it's a way to get creative. Where it's like, just not necessarily trying to get clientele from there, but market it on there. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, because it's curated towards the city or the area that you're in.
We own that. Thank you, Ryan.
No problem. I'm just brainstorming as I'm talking to you guys. So like, hey, we're brainstorming through this together. So
yeah, that's great. We're gonna do that.
So what tactics do you think are overrated that people are using, but they're not as effective? Have you thought of that?
What are they using? What type? Well, we did when we researched, we wanted to see what medical transportation providers were on social media and what they were doing, but nobody nobody really stood out to us besides MJ Transport and Mr. Eric. 6 figures.
What have you tried? What have you tried that you felt that what the marketing that wasn't as effective as you thought? Maybe it's walking door to door. Maybe you thought, I heard about this. It's very time consuming. It's expensive because I have to pay for the time and the what do you call them? The flyers.
Gotcha.
Do you think that's overrated? What do you think?
I think the times we are in, the door-to-door thing is probably a little something that could be left behind. It need to be upgraded, week. And then we try to win, but I think that's overrated because we haven't did no door-to-door. No, churches. Churches door-to-door. Churches, we went door-to-door because we know they're seniors, elderly, disabled, that want to get to church, but also they probably potentially need medical transportation. So
that's the only
door-to-door that we really. So I don't think that's really. I think that's overplayed. I think that's overplayed. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I can imagine that being very expensive and just walking to different doors in the neighborhood, knocking on dours, hanging up flyers, door hangers. I just feel like that'd be a lot of work.
Because most people don't read that. I know.
I personally throw it in the trash.
We think about ourselves as consumers and what we do. Right. I don't even take the mail from my rental office off my door. It's like 5 days later, so unless it's cute or something. But no, if it ain't shiny or nothing, I ain't gonna be looking at it. So we just try to operate in a way as like we would as consumers.
Yep.
Giving them that grace. Yeah.
Okay. And I wanted to kind of touch base on mistakes also. Mistakes that you guys have done running this business. So what's the biggest? If you can just take it, take a time to think about what's the biggest mistake that you made in your business up to date?
The maintenance on our ramp.
On the ramp.
So what you have to tell us what happened with the maintenance of the ramp?
So I was like in the middle of I'm kind of there.
Here we go.
But I was supercharged, ready to do this transport. And it's cold. I mean, it's one of the coldest days of winter this year. And I have about the boards and my ramp don't come up. Yeah. I didn't do a pre-check before I got pulled off from the office. I didn't do a pre-check before I pulled off from my house. I didn't even do a pre-check before I went in and got a client. And then we found out that our ramp had defects. It wasn't our fault, thank God. But still, if we would have been checking, we would have been able to catch a defect. So yeah, that's something that really I beat myself up bad about.
So that like before you do the trips for the day, you have to go through like a checklist and check.
Yeah, a checklist is very important to have a checklist because it's easy to forget about those things.
It is.
It's easy. You'll clean up, but to think about the ramp, and for me, honestly, I'm probably not for other providers, but for me, like that's like something that I probably have to written down or something until I took it serious, until it played out in our experience. I was like, oh no, this is something that I need to check every day. As we plan to build our fleet and hire, we want that to be a part of our system and our business. So yeah, that's the biggest mistake we've made. The biggest mistake.
Was it what made it the biggest mistake? Was it like a costly mistake or was it?
Thank God it wasn't costly, but it was embarrassing. I mean, we
was in front of a client.
We just got this contract.
Yeah.
Our first contract. The lady who gave us the contract is out there looking like, y'all got the man, right? I told y'all I was dependent on y'all. It was it wasn't a bad day, but when we looking like if we being prepared and organized and the business woman that we are, we could have stopped that. It didn't have to happen. We could have prevented that.
We canceled if if we knew something was
wrong. We could have prepared her ahead of time. We just thought about all the people that was affected based off our one decision.
Yeah.
And so many people, thank God it wasn't as bad, but if it was bad, it would have been affected. Right. And we don't know how that would have been with our relationship and partnership with them. So thank God.
I like that you kind of like brought that up because I think a lot of people, they have that feeling of what if something goes wrong? They never start because they have that fear of like, what if I don't have the answer to this or I don't have the answer to that, right? But it sounds like you can't always have the answers before you start, right?
This
you kind of
have to like is a learning field.
Yeah,
you learn as you go.
You wouldn't know to check the rims unless you had this kind of like this thing that took place, right? And then now you have the check sheet in place, right? And all these things to kind of like solve the problems that you faced in your transportation journey. So I think that's one thing to take away. One of the things to take away is that you should put things in motion, right? Be a practitioner. Don't just wait and, try to figure everything out. I mean, of course, try to do as much research as you can, but like, don't try to be a master at something, everything.
Because it's so much to learn in this field. Like I come from the counseling field, working for children, psychologists. I'm like, whoa, my mind is like, am I smart? Do I have a degree?
It definitely is.
Yeah, so, and it's almost like you would never start. You never start if you're trying to just check off all the boxes. So it just seems like just take one day at a time. And
one day at a time, literally. That's serious. Like people take that figuratively. Please take it a day at a time. It will go so much smoother.
Awesome. And so you guys have Instagram, you guys are really active on. A Facebook that you guys are very active on. Yeah. Do you have anything? Are you guys hiring, or do you guys have any like events coming up, or like anything that you guys want to tell the the viewers about?
Well, we will be hiring in the future, but right now. But not right now. But we want to shout out our social media pages. We follow us on Facebook, JK Divine Connections Transportation, and Instagram, JK Divine Transport. Follow us. We are always sharing information. Yes. We're always open to supporting people who wants to get started in business. Join our family. As you can see, we do great things with our patients. We try to make them feel the love and the care and support that we give what they need as well. So join us, follow us, and watch us take off, because we're taking off, baby.
and are you open to people asking you guys, reaching out to you guys for questions or connecting with you guys?
Yes, we've had like 3 meetings already since we launched social media. Yeah. It's so crazy.
That's crazy. That is crazy. That is crazy. So yeah, so it sounds like it's definitely social media is helping a lot, right?
Yes, it is.
Wow. So yeah. So is there anything else you guys want to share with the viewers, or?
If you are thinking about joining the in medical transportation industry, don't let nothing stop you. Do it. Whether you have the money, whether you have the material, whether you have the support, do it. Follow that vision through. It's going to be worth it, whether you are by yourself or with a partner. But trust the process, do your research, connect with great people, and build those relationships and partnerships. That's like the number one key. And keep God first. That's it.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Yeah. So it sounds like there's a lot of different ways to get started in the NEMT space, and there's not just one way to get started. And you guys are just like so inspiring, right? From going from strangers to connecting to like balancing each other out. and I love how transparent you were, with this interview. You broke down a lot of different things in detail, especially like the meetings and what to expect and how to be prepared. Because a lot of people, I'm sure a lot of viewers have that question, how to go into these meetings.
Yeah, we want to help. Whatever we can give we need more people. We can't do it by ourselves. Like we need more providers. So the way the economy going, life going, we need it. So start now. Don't let nothing stop you. Start now.
There's no competition. It's like,
Oh no,
you're in one state, another one's in another state.
We don't even, it's so crazy because they tell you to watch your competitors and look out for your competitors, but we decided that we weren't going to do that. No. We were going to see them as partners.
I love it.
Because we really are partners. Yeah. We servicing people who need our services. And why compete when it's enough for all of us to eat and serve? So
exactly,
they are partners. That's why we say, come follow us. Talk to us. Let's see what we can do. Partner up. Do something nice for the community. Yeah,
I love it. Awesome. So if you guys have any questions, drop a comment below. Reach out. Feel free to reach out to Jasmine and Kimberly. I'm going to be dropping their contact information in the description of the video. And like I said, thank you so much. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this interview. And see you in the next one.